Joe Mazzulla, the coach for the Boston Celtics, who are about to win the NBA final, was asked some pretty interesting questions in some press conferences. And after the games, his responses were pretty epic, but also really humbling and refreshing as well. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's take a look at that video.
Did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one. Thank you. But I'm glad hopefully they're Celtic fans. Yeah, thank you.
So before I play that second clip, which I think is almost as good as the first, what he says there is actually incredibly profound. And what you'll see with this clip and with the next is that Joe Mazzulla is actually, he says very little, but he says a lot with those few words. What he's saying here essentially, so many people are kind of anti-royal family. I'm not personally, and the reason why is because in parliamentary republics, what happens is they usually come from monarchies. The United States is different. We don't act like that because we didn't come from a monarchy, but most parliamentary republics have a royal family. And the reason why is because they are a symbol to that country of their patriotism, what their country means, what their heritage is. And so I actually think it's really good because it instills values. It keeps a sense of tradition within a country. And it might be kind of vain and dumb to us Americans, but I actually think it's really important, especially for a lot of republics in Europe, for instance. But what Joe Mazzulla is saying here is that in America, we don't have a monarchy. And so what he's saying is that our royal family is God the Father and Jesus Christ. And he might have included Mary and Joseph in there. I wouldn't, but regardless, it's the same. We all agree that God and Jesus Christ are the supreme royal family in America. And this is one thing that makes America so spectacular. And of course, everyone's still free to believe and practice what they want to practice and believe and practice their religion. That's fine. But make no mistake, our royal family, or in other words, like Britain, our heritage, our foundation is Jesus Christ. We are a Christian nation. The second video, by the way, is a reporter asking a similar question, and he goes into a similar response that kind of expounds on this. So I wanted to play the second clip for you guys as well.
Hey, Joe, Vince Gill, Yahoo Sports. For the first time since 1975, this is the NBA Finals where you have two black head coaches. Given the plight sometimes of black head coaches in the NBA, do you think this is a significant moment? Do you take pride in this? How do you view this, or do you not see it at all?
I wonder how many of those have been Christian coaches.
So this is the sort of DEI crap that people just can't stand anymore. You can see here that Joe just doesn't care, but he spins it back at him, and it goes along with what he was saying about the royal family at the beginning. Again, this is like, he says so few words and he just lets the silence speak for itself, but so much is packed into what he's saying. He's basically saying that to them, he's basically looking at them and saying, to you, the most important thing about me is that I'm black. And they're assuming that he believes the same. But what he's saying is that I don't identify myself as black first. That might be down on the list somewhere. Just, I'm the same. I'm white, sure, but when I meet someone, the first thing I say to them isn't, oh, hi, yeah, I am Josh, I'm a white guy. That's like number 20 on the list. What he's saying is my primary identity, the thing that is most important to me, is that I'm a Christian. That's what he's saying to those reporters when he says, how many Christian coaches are there? Because he's literally saying, I don't care about the skin color really, I care about my beliefs. And people who identify themselves by their immutable characteristics like skin color or sexuality or gender are falling short of what they could be identifying as. And even if they're not Christian, I still think, despite me not agreeing with Judaism or Islam, for instance, if that was their primary identifier, it's a lot more noble than something that they were born with, like their skin color. None of these things can change. They hardly matter. And I think this is really where there is the divide in America today. You have one side who is they're identifying themselves with God. And whatever they see God as, that's, regardless, we can all disagree on what that is, but they're identifying themselves as God. And then there's this other group that are identifying themselves by their immutable characteristics. That is the divide. It's really not left, right. It's really not libertarian, authoritarian. It's simply, do you identify yourself with God first or with your sexuality, which then becomes your God? This is why America is a Christian nation. And by the way, it must be in order to uphold and maintain American exceptionalism, because like I said, there's no other country that works this way, because we were the first republic with a democracy. We're the first ones and the first constitution in the world. And the reason why is because we identify ourselves with God, not with monarchies. And I think it's fine for Europeans to do that because they have that heritage, but we don't have that heritage. Our heritage is God and Christ. So it's super epic that Joe Mazzulla identifies that way, especially being such a big deal right now with him about to win the NBA Finals. So hats off to him. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please go down below, comment, like, and subscribe, and watch another video.